I am not bilingual. I know English and that is it. I blame my lack of another language on so many things. My speech problems, my lack of courses in primary school, the cut-off funding for language, and more. But in reality, I don't really find it necessary. English is everywhere. English is the language of the global world, and I happen to only speak that language. I really am a lucky one. Since my time in Amsterdam, I have been surrounded by a plethora of languages. Every day I am spoken to in Dutch, and I reply back in timid English. I'm sorry, I don't. The embarrassment obvious in my voice as it trails off. I often wonder how would my experience be changed if I spoke Dutch or any other language. Early in October, I am assigned to work in a group project with two French students, Maiden and Nathan. We decide to meet at a nearby cafe after class. As I set up my laptop, Maiden and Nathan chatter to each other in quick-fired French, clearly already friends. My heartbeat speeds up, my hands a little clammy. I think to myself, how is this project going to work when they speak in French? I clearly don't speak French, I speak English. A little annoyed, but I try to speak enthusiastic. Let's get started. As we begin to work on the project, the French accents are difficult to understand. Nathan, in particular, doesn't know how to articulate his opinions in English that well, and I keep asking him to repeat himself. Maiden works as a translator, trying to include me in the discussion, as Nathan asks how to say this in English, in French. We have to make an hour-long presentation. This might take a while. After 2 hours or so, the flow of conversation becomes easier, and we begin to chat about other things and get to know each other. We eventually trail into talking about the course itself and our opinions of the professors, the class structure, and the readings. Maiden mentions how long the readings are and how dense the material is for her to understand. I pipe up, I agree the readings are a bit much. They almost always exceed 80 pages each week. Nathan interjects, yes, but you speak English. The readings are in English. That's the most difficult part for me is trying to understand and translate these words that I clearly don't know. I spend most of my time Googling words I've never seen before. Shocked? Surprisingly, I'd never thought of that. The difficulty of taking all your courses in your second or third language. Coming to the Netherlands meant that they didn't speak the local language of Dutch, nor did most people speak their native language of French. Thus, they must communicate in an intermediate language. Obviously, this was the case for so many students. Why had this never occurred to me? There is one thing to go to a foreign country and speak the local language, such as studying in Spain and speaking Spanish, but it's another entirely to speak the in-between language of English. After this conversation, I reflected on my lack of desire to learn Dutch and my inability to speak any other language. I realized I'm incredibly privileged to speak English. To be a citizen of a global world, I need to communicate with all types of people, despite if they speak great English or not. I expect people to conform to me in conversation, but I never looked at it from the other perspective and how difficult it must be for them. Rather than getting annoyed and frustrated by not so great English, I can take a step back and think about it from their view. I can use patience and understanding and be grateful I know a language so many others know.